Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hi there.
Hello. Hello, Pickle, Spring, 4814, April. April, you're back in your normal spot.
Yes.
I think I got used to you being in that other room with the dog picture in the background.
Yeah, don't ask me for a dog background today.
Oh, dang. All right. Well, maybe we'll get lucky and our artists will draw some sort of dog.
There you go.
Oh
Oh,
my
speaking of
That would
backgrounds,
be
I like
nice.
yours. That's pretty cool.
Thanks. This is a Carlos was laughing at me. I like to turn around like I'm really here.
Mhm.
This is art from a web comic called On a Sunbeam, which I was like, let me get some like local. This is a Texas artist that made this. I was like, let me get some local art
Oh, that's
in
cool.
the back of me.
Cool.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So welcome everybody to our second rendition of Local Artist Night. We've got some awesome artists with us again. We're going to allow them to share their screens so they can uh, draw and improvise and do whatever they want to do. We're going to give them about, I think we said 20 minutes,
Yeah.
20 minutes or so. We're not going to, I guess, be crazy strict about that if they got a good they got a good vibe going. Um, but yes, to everyone in the who's viewing, we're going to be live on YouTube as well. Uh, So if you have any questions for any of the artists, you are welcome to ask those questions. Of course, be respectful. Um, and without any further ado, we still have some people coming in. So
Yep,
we'll
yep.
allow them in here. But I believe, Oscar, you are going to be our first artist for tonight.
Yep. Oh boy. Okay. I am trying to see if this will start streaming. It should be popping up on the other one. Oh, there we go. Cool.
Yeah.
It just automatically did full screen for me. Okay. So I had this little sketch that I was doing as a warm up, but I'm going to be doing just I realized I can't get Matthew McConaughey's bone structure like in any way good at all. I was looking at some references that Susan had, and I was like, "Oh no, he's too
Please
handsome."
draw Matthew McConaughey.
No, he's going to look so bad in my style, at least.
No.
Susan. Okay, you know what? I'll give it a try, but I
Yeah, go
don't
for it.
guarantee that it's going to be the greatest.
We should have this should be a Matthew McConaughey stream. I bet I
It
could
should.
cyberbully
That's
Grace
fine,
into drawing
yeah.
Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
Don't bully Dianita into
I'm not gonna bully Diane, but I will bully Grace.
Okay.
There was well, he's in talks to be running for governor someday. Was the
Is
latest
he?
the latest news? Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he made it. It was kind of
Was it
like a joke
a
offhand
joke?
statement. Well, it's because he's doing a lot of press for his uh, memoir that came out like last month, I think. And he also does the audiobook for his memoir. So if you're interested in listening to him talk for like 10 hours, there's that.
Oh my
Um,
god.
and so part of that, like someone asked in one of the interviews, someone asked, like, oh, like, would you ever be interested in like running for a political position or governor? And he like basically said, well, he said, only if the people are interested. So it was really like, no, but then everyone ran with it. They're like, oh yeah, Governor McConaughey.
Oh my god. Okay. We're going with early 90s Rust because I cannot do 2012 Rust.
Oscar, can you tell us a little bit about the software that you're using?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm using Procreate. It's like it's an app for your iPad. And it's got pretty cool features. It's constantly updating and everything. So they've got like a huge variety of brushes, a bunch of cool new features. And I'll definitely get to show some if I have the time for it. Um, and it's probably like my go-to app. It's obvious it's one of the apps that you have to pay for, but it's just like a one-time purchase, and then you could pretty much like do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, and at some point you've got to I don't want to distract you too much from Matthew here because this is looking awesome. You got the hair down for sure.
Oh yeah.
Uh, at some point, you've got to promote that book you were showing us just a little while ago.
Oh yeah, I will for sure. Because oh my God, that book. Uh, I definitely pulled a couple of all-nighters trying to get that book to look as perfect as possible, and it's about close to 400 pages. So pretty good.
Awesome.
Pretty big, a pretty hefty book also. So
Cool, cool.
I don't know how to draw neckties.
So I have a non-artist question for you.
Yeah.
Is it easier to draw a portrait of someone or sketch a portrait of someone like live and in person, like an actual person standing there, or if you're looking at like a picture of them?
Usually live is better just because that way I can kind of get like more of a vibe from the person. Like still images are great too, but I think I prefer like somebody live there. So like
Mhm.
if they can move around and not have to like be stuck on like one pose for like way too long or anything. And I can kind of get an idea of like a different expression if they end up like smiling or if they end up like frowning or something like that. It's um so it kind of gives me a little bit more freedom than you would think, and it's not like as complex
Hmm.
because that way like I don't have to go like, oh, I have to make it look exactly like the same image that I'm looking at. um
Yeah, cool.
mm,
Is this circa 2020 McConaughey you're going for here, or
this
is
is
this Dazed and
like
Confused?
so I'm just using like like right from like stills from True Detective. So it's like
Cool.
um the season one where he's like it's like set in the early 90s, I'd say. Mid 90s. I forget. Susan,
95.
was it okay, 95.
95.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's see. My God. His like cheekbones, man.
They can
Oh.
they can cut glass. I've heard that bone structure.
Indeed.
You're absolutely right. Brittany McConaughey has some phenomenal bone structure. And Oscar is doing a great job here. Wait, I mean, at a whim, we kind of just brought up Matthew McConaughey, I think 30 seconds before we let people into the chat. And here it goes. Wow.
I'm just like
So if McConaughey was like a mythical creature, what do y'all think he would be? Because I'm thinking like centaur.
let's
I was just
see.
wondering how he'd fit into like Dianita's art style.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What do you,
I think Jackalope. My vote's for Jackalope.
Jack-
yeah, he's got that like there's just something about him that like is like both like kind of cute, charming like a rabbit would be, but then like as like unsettling as a jackalope is.
Hmm.
Um
I like imagining him as some kind of rabbit. It's kind of rabbit character. Oh, we have a question for you, Oscar. And I guess any of our artists could answer this as well. But do you prefer drawing original characters, real people, or just other fictional characters? Do you have a
um
preference?
oh man, original characters is like my 100% go-to. Other fictional characters that are pre-existing are pretty great, but like I am like hardcore obsessed with like original characters and like some of my friends as characters too. Like um real people, I'm kind of like it's sort of conflicted because like it's fun to get to draw like some actors and stuff. Like I'm having a lot of fun drawing this actually. Um but then I don't know. I feel like I would end up like butchering a certain celebrity's like look, and I'm like, oh God, no, I don't. Nobody needs to see this.
This is fantastic. Wow. Do you have a favorite artist or illustrator, Oscar? One that you not not try to replicate, but admire, draw a lot of inspiration from?
Yeah, I have quite a few. I mean, there's a couple of friends whose stuff I admire a lot. But not really an artist who's I don't like how his nose is coming out. Not really an artist whose style I want to emulate, just because I'm like, I could never even try to fathom like being that good with oil paints. But JC Leyendecker is like one of my favorite illustration artists. Um, and he has like his stuff is just like really good and was like a huge inspiration for me, like at least in like my art college days.
Very cool. Awesome. And again, everyone, this is Oscar. Oscar's website. I think we can share it. The Pixel Stars Studio. Oscar, can you tell us a little bit about Pixel Stars?
Yeah, so Pixel Stars is basically well, first of all, it's just this name I'd come up with because Pixel Stars with the E was taken first. But it's basically a studio between myself and my fiance Sammy. And we basically draw like all sorts of things together. We tend to collab more often than not on a lot of our stuff. Actually, Sammy was the one who did the cover for the book that I showed earlier, and I'll show it in just a moment too. But we pretty much like tend to like sell our stuff together, and our styles actually mesh super well enough that we're like, you know what? We might as well just like be like a small little mini studio between the two of us.
Nice. Did you say that y'all met through art, through
Yeah.
illustrating? Cool.
Yeah, so we'd met like through like art and stuff. Like, oh my God, like how long was it, Sammy? Was it like what, 4, 5 years? Yeah. So
Awesome.
it's definitely been some time. I'm like trying to I'm struggling because I like look at him and he's got like this like very like sleepy, tired look in his eye. And I'm really trying to like get the essence of that.
This is like for Lone Star McConaughey.
Oh my God.
I like to, Susan calls this the McConaughey challenge. I like that.
Oh my God.
A true Texas icon. Is he? He is from Texas.
Yeah,
right?
he's Texan.
Okay.
I think.
From my neck of the
West
woods, actually.
Texas.
Oh,
From
West
West
Texas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ah.
like his sister is one of the vets in the town where I live in.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Wow.
Okay, I'll figure out his nose in a minute because that's just.
Has he ever wandered in while you were getting your cat a checkup? Or
I don't think so.
no? Not yet. Okay. This is great. And again, everyone watching, if you have any questions for Oscar, feel free to type them in the chat. You could also unmute yourself and ask. I think that's okay too. Yeah. And so, Oscar, is it challenging to, I mean, obviously you're doing this and doing this so well while also chatting with us, but is it tough to kind of like illustrate and talk? Because I think of I guess a writer needs to be closed off in a room with the curtains shut and no noise at all so they can focus. But obviously you can create while I'm sitting here talking at you. Is it challenging to do so? Do you feel like you produce better when you're alone, or maybe when your partner is right there with you, or with friends?
I think it definitely varies from time to time and also from person to person. But for me personally, I'm totally fine with like chatting with people because that way I could kind of like find myself like I could be talking to you guys here and then I could be focusing on my art at the same time. Um, and that way, like, I'm not looking away from it as much because sometimes if I'm just like by myself, I'll just like end up like I'll try to like pull up my phone to look up a reference and then I'll just like end up scrolling Twitter for a couple hours and all that. Um, but and then sometimes I do better alone, but most of the time I really do enjoy like, having company and having friends to talk about like what I'm drawing with. So
Very cool.
it's definitely like my more preferred way is just to have like people to chat with. So this is definitely like one of those things that I have fun with.
Awesome.
All right, Susan, rate this McConaughey.
11 out of 10.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh. And if I still got time, I'll just like slap some colors onto him.
Yeah, we still have a little time. Yeah, this is so good. Would McConaughey be one of your like top, if you could meet any celebrities, is McConaughey up there for you?
Are you asking me or Susan? Because I'm not sure. I mean, it'd be great to meet him, honestly. But I completely lost every single celebrity ever from my brain as you asked that question. Because now I'm like trying to think like, well, if not him, who else?
Mhm.
But
Rate that McConaughey. Yes, everyone, if you want to put your McConaughey rating
Mhm.
in the chat, please please do so. And yeah, I know, Oscar, I kind of threw you on the spot there. I'm sure you'll think of that number one in like
Oh yeah, I'll definitely
2
think of
minutes.
somebody at some point. But no, I think it'd be pretty cool to meet him. My mom sometimes has the chance of like running into celebrities because she works at the airport. So they'll end up like having
Ah,
like a celebrity on one flight and she's like, "Oh, this person's actually like a really chill person."
Hmm.
Um so
that's cool.
let's-
Brittany says 10 out of 10. All right, all right, all right. Wow. 10 all rights. Love it. So what are obviously you're operating through Procreate right now,
Mhm.
working through a lot of screens and techniques that are mesmerizing to me, but
Yeah.
probably very understandable for you. What are the challenges of working through this system that you might not have if you were just like standard pencil and paper? Like, are there any more that come with a
Um
digital program?
I can say the undo button is definitely one of those things that I have gone so accustomed to that sometimes I'll end up drawing on paper and I'll do the hand gesture for the undo button. I'll just like tap it with two of my fingers and I'm like, wait, no, this is pen and paper.
Oh no.
Um that aside, I actually kind of feel the opposite. Like that I like that digital media's gotten more like I guess innovative is the word. Like I really enjoy that like there's so many brushes that can emulate like watercolor now or oil paint. Because before you just kind of like had to try like to render it as much as possible to make it look that way. But now like they keep improving more and more with them. And I like it a lot. So it's definitely like also a little bit kinder that way because that way if I make a
Mhm.
mistake doing an oil painting in digital, I don't have to worry about like, oh no, now I have to wait like 10 hours for this layer to dry for me to do another layer over it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's a little bit easier and less of a struggle at least in the like traditional versus digital kind of sense.
Mhm. Cool. And
Yeah.
this is obviously you have the Pixel Stars. This is the medium that you prefer. Like
Yeah.
if you had to, it is okay.
Yeah, digital's definitely like one of my more preferred mediums.
Awesome.
Sometimes I'll do traditional stuff, but it's very rare.
Mhm.
But I do love inking like a lot.
Fantastic. So this is formal McConaughey you've decided to go with.
Yeah, just got his little suit jacket off, but still fancy enough. Yep. There he is.
This is fantastic.
Cool.
And
This
so
is
when
my-
you
Mhm.
do you have like a hard drive just like filled with little doodles like this? Like when you make something like this as random as your friend Susan saying, let's both draw Matthew McConaughey and see, do you finish this and you're like, all right, you toss it, or do you just put it on a hard drive and then you look
So
through it one day?
so with my iPad, the cool thing is that the Procreate app kind of automatically stores everything, and I'll even show that like really briefly. I have like a bunch
Oh,
of like
wow.
different works in progresses, doodles and stuff that I just haven't finished here and there, all sorts of stuff. So I basically just have like a huge stockpile of files that I've either like, worked on and put off for a little bit or just like completed. I don't really delete most of my sketches and works in progresses. Like I'll have them, but I don't do much with them. I just kind of go like, I'll get back to that later. And like
Mhm.
2 years down the line, I'm still like, I'll get back to that later.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
sure a few years from now you're going to be going through here and find this McConaughey.
I'll
and think
probably
like,
have
oh,
drawn a better McConaughey
wow.
by then. I'm like, oh man, I definitely want to make him look so much better. But I think for a first try, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks like Matthew McConaughey. I mean,
Oh yeah,
as much as he can. And I think I remember from last time this character that is not Matthew McConaughey. This
yeah,
is like one of your originals, right?
yes, she is. She is my. She's actually one of my like longer standing original characters. Like I think I've had her since like 2000, 2010, 2012.
Okay.
She's always like because I know you asked this last time also, but like she's also one of my like go-to characters to draw. If I can't come up with something, I'll just draw her.
Hmm. And is she a part of any of your comics that you make that you maybe try to put out to publish or sell, or is she more just like a personal thing that you?
I definitely want to do a comic with her, but I have not as of yet. But I definitely do have like some ideas that I want to do with her. Not sure just yet, but it's probably going to be like maybe like a rom-com or something, even though like I
Ooh,
rarely ever do rom-com stuff. I usually like horror genre.
hmm.
Um,
You could maybe mix those. I mean, you've got two ideal candidates right here, Matthew McConaughey
that's
and
true.
and her. Yeah,
Oh my God.
I would be
I'm just
very
like
interested in that
that'd
story.
be an interesting pair up. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be very interested in that story. My first thought is zombies. I see the two of them.
Like a zombie romance movie. Oh
Yeah, like
God.
Texas State Fair, an outbreak happens, and
Oh my God.
McConaughey is fending them off with corn dogs.
Oh my
The
God.
whole.
Sounds like a time. But yeah, I think that's pretty much like, oh man.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
So let me-
Yeah. And before your time is up, please tell us a little bit about that book.
Oh yes. Okay. So before my time's up, let me just, oh, nope. I'm just going to like shut this down here, but I've got the book here. It's called Black Hole Sun. It's basically a horror anthology and actually like a fandom thing. I don't know if anybody here knows about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but it's basically just like a huge, gigantic anthology. This is just the proof that we got for it. And there's basically a different story for every single part of the series. There's 10 stories total and like 10 different artists who did lots of artwork for it. I'm trying to basically hold this like on for dear life because it'll fall apart if I don't. And we've currently got sales for digital right now. I think we sold out of our physical copies, but once we send out the orders, there might be some left over. And then we'll probably be opening physical orders again. But yeah, it's like almost 400 pages,
Awesome.
like 300 some, but definitely a
And
big like.
you've got a.
Oh no, you.
I was going to ask, do you have like an original story in there?
So I don't have the story. I actually did the artwork for it.
Oh, awesome.
So it's pretty good. I basically like, we did the formatting, Sammy did the cover, and I did pretty much like the entire layout from like top to bottom to try to make sure that like it'll look and print out very nicely. Yeah. And that's
So
pretty
cool.
much
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Looks great. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Oscar. Yeah, everyone, please check out pixelstars.com. Pixel with no E. Oscar has amazing stuff on there, and yeah, I think we can move on to our next artist of the night, who I believe is Susan. Susan, are you ready to hop on
Join
here?
the McConaughey challenge.
Oh,
Yeah. The McConaughey Challenge 2020.
Okay, let me first of all figure out how to share my screen. More share screen options. Oh, nope, that's not it. More share screen. And then I'm gonna pick my Photoshop window and then share. Okay. All right, I have a quick question. I'm gonna switch between some of the files. Let me know if like you can actually see them or if it's stuck. So does that work?
Yeah, I kind of like glitched a bit, but it definitely like does switch
Okay,
between them.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was actually going to work on my Borat drawing, my Borat illustration,
Oh my
but
god.
we'll do a McConaughey warm up.
Oh boy.
Can I ask, what was the are you selling Midsummer stickers? Is that what we saw?
Oh yeah, I guess that's my thing to promote. I'm selling Midsummer stickers, but I'm also doing a giveaway. So
Ooh.
here, y'all can see it. It's just, I think, just retweet a tweet I made, and then yeah, I'll pick a winner on November 29th. It seems.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
How big are the stickers? Are they like small, like to go like on the back of your phone, or like back of my car decal?
Oh, well, they're like waterproof and UV laminated, so they can go on the back of your car. And they're 3 inches big. So
awesome.
And they're glittery and holographic because I like that nonsense. You know, Lisa Frank, why not?
Yeah. I'm all about people asking me so many questions about the stickers without them having seen the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And so this is not Procreate, right? This is Photoshop.
This is a really out of date version of Photoshop that you actually can't use anymore with the most recent Apple OS or Mac OS. It's CS6. Yeah, CS6. So I actually had to, when I upgraded, this is really bad. When I upgraded my Mac, I was like, oh, I can't use my program that I know how to use, and I'm stubborn, so I'm not going to learn how to use like these better programs. So then I had to like, and I'm not good at computers, so then I had to do computer science, aka look at Google, and figure out how to like reboot my computer to start up the last operating system just so I could use CS6.
Very cool. So this is like, I'm trying to think of what an equivalent would be. I mean, this is like an outdated form of technology. It's like someone using a typewriter.
Yeah, but less cool. Like it's not, yeah. People shouldn't be using CS6, but I refuse to innovate. Wow, I'm gonna give up on this McConaughey challenge. Oscar, I'm sorry for making you do that. This was hard.
No, it's okay. What era McConaughey are you drawing?
Yeah.
I was drawing 2012. That's cigarette.
Okay.
Here we go.
I think like 2012 is like the hardest one to get a grasp of. Just because it's like he like both looks like himself and also doesn't.
It's a lot of that old age makeup, yeah.
Yeah, and it's also I think it's either I'm like not sure if it's either the mustache or if it's the hair.
I think it's both.
I think it's both. I'm trying to remember like what exactly it was. Like there was just something during the like interviews in the 2012 one that I was just kind of like, oh my god, there's this man this man like needs like a well-deserved like 40-day nap or something.
He needs to moisturize and get hydrated.
Yeah.
A skincare routine.
He needs to stop drinking Lone Star beer like it's water.
I mean, it's gotten pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
So So Susan, I believe last time you were on here, you were doing a lot of like Hamilton pins.
Yeah, I was working on George, and I am proud to say
yeah.
I have not touched that file since our last stream.
Oh, no.
But maybe one of these years I'll return to it and finish.
Do you plan to stick with this older version of Photoshop many years down the road, or?
Oh my god. It depends on, so like the MacBook that I'm working on is 8 years old. So it depends on whether or not, how long this MacBook lasts, because I'm going to be forced to change if,
Gotcha.
it dies.
So it just depends on how long the technology holds out.
Exactly. I'm
Gotcha.
very stubborn. I don't want to learn anymore. I'm too dumb. I already know what I like. All right. So that's just my fun warm up, and I don't want to look at this again.
Oh,
It's great.
I enjoy him though.
Yeah,
you.
it's definitely him.
This looks so
Ooh.
good.
Time
This is great.
to switch to my
Great.
The forehead's so good.
wah wah wee wah. So I actually did most of the. Let me see if I can find the. Oh, it's gonna be really funny if you can actually make out my layers, because there's like, I'm trying to organize because I know I should for good workflow, but I'm so resistant to it. So it's just chaos. But let's see if I have even the, no, I don't think I do. I was going to show the sketch file of this. No, look how chaotic this is.
Oh no. Is it in the base folder?
I have a base folder. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
Yes, yes. Thank you.
You're
Really, this is-
welcome.
This doesn't help me because I don't follow through on any logic. Okay. Yeah, just so, because I'm actually pretty far along. I just need to add in like the shadows and I guess some highlights. Okay, I just wanna, oh, not red. Okay, let's see. There we go. This was the base. This is what I normally start out with, right? So like this is the very first, this is like the McConaughey challenge. Like it's my first pass.
Oh my gosh.
And then I start like, I normally always start with like the face because it's the funnest part for me.
Mhm.
And yeah, so just trying to, I guess, sculpt that out. And then, yeah, then I do everything else. And then I'll go in again and try and, I don't know, like add some flesh, add some life. So that was basically the sketch that I worked out to get to this part. So let's just color Totar.
Do you normally sketch in shades of red, Susan?
Yeah, I think it's my brand. Never finishing art, but always doing it in red. That's the brand identity I've made for myself,
Love it.
and I'll stick to it.
So I have not, I'm obviously very behind. I have not seen Borat.
Either of them?
The first one or the second one?
Any of them. Yeah.
Rudy.
I know.
So
I know. Somehow I made it through that decade whenever it came out.
So I have not ever seen the first one. But also, Rudy, have you ever seen like South Park or anything similar to that?
Sure.
Think of that kind of like offensive kind of humor, and like if you go in like expecting that, you'll
Okay.
have an okay time watching Borat.
Okay.
But I'd say like compared between the first one and the second one got a surprising amount of character development.
Really?
There
Like,
was an arc. There was growth.
mhm.
Okay. I was not expecting to hear that review. But I'm intrigued by it though. So who is this person with Borat?
Yeah. So she's his daughter. She's in the second film.
Spoiler.
Not really if you watch the trailer. So I would never spoil Borat 2 for anyone. I'm not that kind of person. But yeah, it basically, the pitch is that he's trying to sell his daughter. Classic Sacha Baron
Wow.
Cohen. But it's fascinating the direction it goes in.
Very cool. So I need to comment on what's like really striking me here. I mean, obviously you were very, very talented, Susan, but your color choices here are so good. How did you feel or know to go with this like this certain kind of blue and that like pop of yellow to kind of shade around them?
Well, first of all, thank you for making me seem much smarter than I am, because
Obviously, you thought about this a lot, right?
oh well, thank you, but I see, now I don't want to answer realistically because
Oh,
it's
no.
gonna make me seem so much less cooler. But it's actually the colors of the flag for Kazakhstan, which is where Borat is from.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So that, and so I added the yellow because I thought it was because there's two colors in the flag essentially. I think I have, so I normally keep a folder to see color refs, and I'll have like so like here's a reference image of of a Borat, and I use it to like drop local color. That's what this palette up here is. Me trying to figure out like the local color before you apply then like different lighting and shadows. So like this really weird cipher is actually me saying this is where the lighting source is, because I'm really dumb. So like I need things like this to remind myself. And so yeah, so you can see this was, I think, from an Amazon ad.
Gotcha.
And so they, in a lot of the ad placement too, they use the, like this says probably like Borat or something, or Tomorrow, or like whatever.
Mhm.
They use the same kind of color palette idea. So I was like, that's smart. But, you know, it's, I think I actually, yeah, I directly just color picked from from Wiki Commons, because I don't know, it's more bright, it's more cheerful. So yeah,
Mhm.
these are my, then I just hide these when oh, no, not that one. I need that later. There you go. So I use that at some point after the sketch to pick out the colors, and then I hide them, really.
Very cool. So yeah, so last time you were doing Hamilton. Now we're at Midsummer and Borat. How do you pick these subjects? Is it just like whatever you're interested in at the time, or like whatever's like trending, or
It's definitely what I think I'm hyper focused in at the time. And sometimes it correlates with what's like trending, right? Because Hamilton, I was getting back into it because Disney had, Disney had dropped the Disney Plus had dropped the musical,
Mhm.
the filmed musical. So that's not complicated. And then, well, I started this when Borat, the sequel, came out, which was like, I think in October, possibly. And it's like, I don't know, I'm a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen, so I had no idea that there was a sequel, actually. So when I heard it was coming out, I was like, okay, time to go back into like nostalgia Sasha mode. And it was like one of my favorite characters of his, although I think it's also one of his more problematic ones, is like Ali G. So I was rewatching like Ali G clips on YouTube, and I was like, God, this
Oh,
is so
wow.
genius. It's just so funny.
I forgot all about the Ali G show. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
This is great. Dianita says she loves how accurate you got her face.
Oh, thanks. I really like this actress is phenomenal for who played his daughter. She is like nuts, like in a good way. Like she like matches him, which is really hard to do when you're speaking different languages and you're
Oh,
like
yeah.
going full like improv, really. So yeah, big
Yeah, and
props to her.
did you hear what they say about the casting of the actress?
No, tell me.
Oh, that they were looking for someone who actually could improvise a lot.
Mhm.
And because all the things that happen in the film is like you need to know where you need to go with your acting, right? So he was like Sasha was saying that they found her, and they put her through all those tests with real people in real situations, just to see if she could handle all this, and she did. So
She's amazing. I
yes.
love her. She's so good. Like I can't even. It's so. I watched like I think they were on Jimmy Kimmel,
Ah,
like, and they completely improvise like uh so I think the actress, I can't say her last name, but I believe the actress's first name is like Maria.
ah,
Yeah.
And so like she and Sasha were like they improvised the entire like Jimmy Kimmel thing, and I was like, oh my god, like the energy is insane. Like they go toe to toe to each other, and that's like truly hard to find someone who matches like
Sasha's, yeah.
Sasha, like just Sasha, like yeah. And I think Amazon was also releasing like clips that didn't make it, or behind the scenes clips. And so there's one where he goes undercover to like a Trump rally, like a really alt-right alley, and rally, sorry. And in the behind the scenes footage, like it's so terrifying. Like he they like storm the stage because they figure out he's kind of like doing a bit, like a joke. Um, and they're like beating down his trailer, like, well, like he runs away, like they escape like with the crew and everything, and in this like trailer truck, and like the people are like trying to beat down the door, and then like Sasha breaks character, which is when I know things are like scary, because you know when Sasha breaks character and he's like speaking in his British accent, he's like, we need to go, he's like, we need to go. And
my
so
Wow.
the amount of times that probably happens, well, I mean, like they had him wear like a bulletproof vest at certain points
Mhm.
Oh wow.
in the sequel is like pretty crazy. So like really when Sasha was like, Maria deserves the Oscar, I was like, you guys both deserve Oscars for like daring to do this and pulling it off.
Honestly, I didn't know. Was that when he does that when he does that little performance on the stage?
Yes, it's that.
Oh my god! Because like I know he like went into CPAC and got like forcibly escorted.
Yeah.
But I thought that was what was gonna cause like the bigger uproar, but I didn't know it was gonna be that one rally. Which is
yeah, I'll try and find the clip because it's just like, oh man, when he breaks character, that's like,
it's
I'm so not used to Sasha doing that, like, because he never interviews as himself. He was maybe done that, like I've seen him do it once. So then to see him like do that in his like wacky costume
yeah.
is like insane.
I think that clip was shown also with Colbert,
Ah,
because I saw it and I saw it. It was kind of like an exclusive. So I think you might find it when Colbert interviews him. But
awesome.
yeah,
Thank
I
you.
saw it. It was crazy.
So Susan, you have this really awesome Borat picture here. What is where is this going to be a new sticker? And
Better be
a
like an
button
11.
perhaps?
This better be an 11x17 poster that I can put up on my wall.
It's gonna be a body pillow, I think.
Yes. Yes.
No, I was just gonna make postcards,
Oh, very cool.
and probably donate like some of the proceeds to something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, yeah, maybe, well, because like Sasha was doing a lot of like voting rights advocacy while
Mhm.
like as Borat,
Mhm.
like to promote the movie. And I was like, Sasha's doing more for like election visibility than American celebrities are.
Mm.
So something like that, or oh my god. Also, speaking of, this is now Borat fun facts, but like last month too, after Borat 2 came out, Kazakhstan actually rebranded their tourism marketing to like very nice is their slogan. So Sasha's his impact.
Oh wow. Brittany in the chat says she will buy 10 of the body pillows. So your first sales are
sold. There you
already,
go.
yeah, your first sales are ready.
Oh, awesome. Thank you guys. Good to see people of great taste.
Don't underestimate me. I will buy 10.
Just to dive into a sea of
Oh my
Borat body
God.
pillows.
Well, I think the goal then is you make every single character that Sasha's done. So so then I'll have to draw Bruno after this or something.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, and actually Sasha's seen this drawing, at least the sketch version.
Oh.
Which made me feel nice. Because someone who was because they film a lot of Borat 2 in Texas. So there's your Texas plug. Which celebrity would I like to meet? Not Matthew McConaughey, but my favorite Texan, Sacha Baron Cohen. Borat in particular.
Oh my god.
I love him. They filmed a lot of it in Texas. Yeah. And
I
like
think-
that's the like it's you're like, yeah, that's Texas.
I think he even showed up at the state fair from like one of the scenes.
Yes,
that
he
was
did.
Oh wow.
Yes, he did. Yeah. I would say like a good, I want to say like 75% is set in Texas. Like actually of the film that's shown was filmed in Texas. And then yeah, so I guess the Austin field supervisor, he was like going through like the hashtags or something, and he was like, oh, I sent this I was like, yes.
Aw.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah, this is fantastic. Oh, and I should have said, Susan, I know a lot of us know who you are, but for the newcomers, could you uh, introduce yourself, where people can learn more about you, um, and I guess really what kind of art you like to make when you're not drawing Sacha Baron Cohen
I
or
mean,
Matthew
this is the
McConaughey.
only type of art I want to make. Sacha
This is
Baron Cohen.
this is Susan's whole bag. It's just
This is my brand right here. Hi, I'm Susan. I guess like directly you can find my stuff at susanbin.com, which is my website. And then there's like 1,000 links to different social media. And I just like having a good time. So I draw things that I like. And right now I really like, well, I don't know. Right now I've been drawing a lot of live action things. I was doing a horror challenge actually in October and then I gave up. So I don't know, I don't draw a lot of animated things for someone who worked in animation. So, but I've been consuming a lot of live action stuff recently. And so that's, I guess, what I've been drawing for fun because it compels me. But I guess in general, my long-term projects, I'm working on this original project and it's sort of crime related. My pitch is it's True Detective, but set in the Permian Basin and also much better. So we'll see if I end up finishing like writing the script and storyboarding that.
cool.
Nice.
So, somebody has asked if you could talk a little bit more about your interest in horror, and I know Oscar has an interest in horror as well. But you both draw such like vibrant, colorful illustrations, yet you have an interest in the darker side of at least cinema, I guess.
Yeah, I should actually I draw some spoopy things, but I don't know. So it's one of those things where it's like I like sharing things that I like. So that's why I'm drawing Borat. But with horror, it's a different medium of like engagement for me. I'm like a big horror person. Like I took like I basically majored in like horror film and I did to toot my own horn, I did a very dope video essay on Crimson Peak and the idea of the monstrous feminine and like the haunted house, like as a female haunted house. And so, yeah, I think it's more because the way I engage with horror is more like from a critical standpoint. Like I love like taking apart like as like a from a visual like language point of view. And so like I enjoy drawing art for it, like that's fun, but I like being more analytical when it comes to horror than like actually like drawing horror fan art, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's just like that's my mode of engagement. And why do I like horror? Well, it's just I'm also like really into true crime, so I feel like there's a very similar like they're neighbors in a way. And I like horror because like for me it's about ways different people, societies, cultures represent and deal with trauma in a way in which the monsters aren't always the bad people. And it explores how you identify with basically being abnormal. And yeah, so recently I've been watching a lot of Indonesian horror actually. So I'm going to plug that. You guys should go watch Empedagore by Yoko Anwar. It was Indonesia's, it's Indonesia's this year's entry into the Oscars. And it's really good, but it's never going to get any clout from the Oscars because like it's just it's not the audience that the Academy is made up of, but it's really good. So everyone go watch Empedagore.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite horror film or one that you think is the best?
Ooh. I'm going to give you two different answers to that. So,
Okay.
My favorite horror movie is Battle Royale for many different reasons.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. A lot of it is like the idea of this, like it was written in the 90s or at least the late 80s, and it's like, you know, about this dystopian future in Japan where it's like the issues are about like, you know, youth violence and yada yada. But it is really like an eat the rich narrative, where these kids, well, the film goes one step further because it becomes a series, but the film I guess franchise explores like, oh, actually now these kids that are going to be like it was Hunger Games before Hunger Games, because they riot against, you know, like the government in the sequels, and like become domestic terrorists. And and it's really honest about what that looks like, because, you know, in American young adult fiction, the idea of like what does youth revolt look like and what does like youth oppression actually look like is kind of well, I'm not gonna make any statements on it, but in Battle Royale they don't try and shy away to what that would actually maybe look like in Japan. And it deals with the economy. So it's my favorite movie when people ask me what my favorite horror movie is. But I will also say I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love it for I love it for how chaotic its filming is. Like there's an amazing long form article on Texas Monthly that's about the impossibility of this movie being made. Like this movie could not be made by anyone but these people at this time, you know, in basically like, basically a suburb of Austin. Like it's also an eat the rich metaphor, you know, like I love it. Like go Leatherface, good for her. And I read an amazing essay, basically examining Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a fairy tale. And I was like, this is brilliant. This is exactly what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is. Like it's an inversion of the fairy tale myth.
Yeah.
And so I love Texas. I love talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hey, I am right there with you. Yeah, that's my favorite as well. That's why I had to cheer when you said it. Yeah, it's so good. I had an English teacher that was obsessed with it and he wrote his thesis on it. And so he really indoctrinated I think we were like 11th, our junior year into Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
that is so awesome. That's so awesome.
Okay, so I guess we are nearing towards the end of your time, but I do have another question for you, Susan, pertaining back to the art. So what you're doing here is amazing and, as always, beyond my comprehension of art. And so many things are so intricate. We've seen you zoom super close in and just like slightly touch up an iris in his right eyeball.
For like 20 minutes, yeah.
Yes. So of course, there's that great saying, art is not finished, only abandoned. How do you know when to abandon, especially something that can be so intricate as this?
When you have deadlines. That's the answer. It's how much can I get done by this date that it's due, and then like throw it at it. I'm gonna say you're never really satisfied with anything. It just, at least I am. So for me, it's a matter of like, how sick am I of working on it? I'm done. I don't want to like invest in it anymore. That's when I'm done, because it's true. Like artists will never. I mean, I'm not the type of artist that like is ever satisfied with something I make and is like, okay, we're good. Like, this is beautiful. I'm just like, I'm done with this. Get this out of my life.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Susan. This is amazing. I'm really in awe staring at this. Please, is this one gonna end up on your website at some point? Because it's just really nice to look
I'll
at.
make body pillows.
Yes. Yes. And to look at as I sleep would be especially nice.
Yeah, no, I will. I was actually maybe over this weekend I'll be done with this. I feel like I've ended my relationship with this drawing, so over this weekend.
Gotta cut the
Nice.
ties.
Yeah.
Get some more McConaughey in there, or Midsummer. Yeah. Well, sweet. Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you.
I need to be reminded, is our next artist Grace or Dinita?
Dianita, do you want to go next?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, something fell in my room right now. I'm like, what?
Uh-oh.
I'm good. I'm good. It's so scary. Let me see which camera I have here. I have mine. And let me start. Uh, is something happening in my
Yeah,
screen?
we can see the tiger.
Here we go.
Wow.
Yeah. Why is it so
This is
small?
amazing.
Is that okay? Because I don't know. I don't even know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It takes up a decent space of the screen. It is a little small, but I think it's fine.
Okay. It's so weird.
What do you think, Rudy?
Let me see. Well, I don't know. I think it's something I moved here in the video config, but yeah. Damn it. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, this is great.
Could it have like the camera have shifted from like horizontal to landscape? I mean, landscape to vertical or anything?
I
I don't know if that affects it at all.
I think it's horizontal, so
Okay.
might have something to do with the video capture that I might have messed with. This is let me see. Yeah, I saw what's going on. Is it looking better?
It looks good. It's zoomed in now. Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on, but at least you can see the tiger.
We can see the tiger, yeah.
That's it. That's all I wanted. So yeah,
This is
I cannot participate on the Matthew McConaughey challenge. Sorry. I didn't know there was a challenge.
we didn't know either. But
Just
this is
imagine.
fantastic.
Imagine McConaughey like this, and maybe
That's his persona.
there you go.
Yeah. Can we name this tiger Matthew McConaughey? Is that okay to do?
That would be the alt version of his alternate name, I guess, his alias.
Grace says he's very majestic. He is very majestic.
Thank you.
I agree. Dinah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what format you're working in right now and what you like to work with?
Sure. Well, I work with fantasy. That is my main thing, and I usually work. Last time I made a pencil sketch, but this time I'm working with. This is oils on canvas, a very big canvas. This is just a little tiny bit of the canvas because it's like a 20 something by 30 something. So it's like I'm having to like really find balance in my chair because I need to be like in a very weird position because I never painted like this tall, I guess. And yeah, that's me now. And I don't know if I missed something about your question.
No, I think you've done a great job. Yeah, this is great. What I think I asked you this last time, but I'm going to ask again. You said fantasy is your passion. What is it about fantasy that you were drawn towards, and why do you like to draw and work with fantasy?
Oh, this is going to sound so cheesy, but I somehow I feel that fantasy allows me to translate my feelings better, if I could say it that way. It's like I don't know, I can put stories, I can put like feelings, and for example, this one is kind of like a freedom and just dancing. Let me show you the idea behind this. Just I'm going to move the camera He's a tiger that is
Oh, wow.
supposed to be dancing on the beach with some kids. So, this, like many artists will tell you, like, oh, yeah, oh, the exploration of so and so. And this would be kind of like my own exploration of feelings and things that I would love to see in the world. Like maybe, of course, I would love to see like flying tigers, like, yeah, dancing
Yes.
on on the beach, right? But yeah, like maybe like this, I don't know, friendship and peace and pretty things
Mhm.
that I could absolutely switch for the next one, because I have others that are like more into other kinds of feelings and emotions, I guess. But yeah, this is kind of my medium to explore. And I guess fantasy animals and fantasy people make me, like, I don't know, make me talk better, make me speak better about what I feel.
Awesome. It's fantastic. So where did this what had you or inspired you to speak of this dancing tiger? Were you just sitting there and you saw a picture of a tiger and you were like, "Oh, I would love to see a tiger dance on the beach with kids," or was it inspired by anything specific?
Well, when this idea came to mind, it wasn't a tiger. I love horses. So it was supposed to be a, like kids dancing with Pegasus all around the beach. But then I don't know why did I choose like okay, like horses. I have many pieces with horses planned.
Mhm.
So I'm like, let's switch it up a little bit. And then I think I can't remember what did I see, or maybe I don't know if there was a painting from some of my favorite painters that usually paint animals, like fantasy animals as well. That I was like, yeah, I want to paint a tiger or something, and
Mm.
it was like, yeah, let's switch it to a tiger. It would look so, and it was like thinking, like, it would look cool to see a tiger like running around with kids and for me it was supposed to be, I think I want to have also an island a little bit far to
Mm.
kind of like a pay homage to my hometown,
Oh,
because
cool.
we are kind of like disconnected from fantasy things. Okay, I don't know, we are like, we forgot fantasy, we're just living like day by day, I guess.
Mm.
And I don't know, I was like, let's put it on my hometown, and it would be so nice to see a tiger and something fantasy, like I don't know, like bringing some magic back. Even though I
Yeah.
guess if someone from my hometown sees this, is going to say there are no flying tigers, you girl.
But it would be better if there were.
Yeah.
Obviously, the children would appreciate it, as we see
Oh, for sure.
in the picture. Oh, this is beautiful. And how
Thank
big
you.
did you say the canvas is?
It is, I think it's 24 by 30, 36.
Oh, wow.
Can't remember the numbers in the label, but I think it's around that size, because it's like, I don't know, this is my palm. This is
Hmm.
part of the edge, and it's like maybe 4 or 6 of my palm. So it's kind of like 20, 24 or something. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, yeah.
Cool. And do
It's
you
like a big
normally,
challenge.
oh yeah, I'm sure. Do you normally will you so this is an original obviously, and I can see on your website that you have a lot of prints and stuff. Is this do you normally sell your originals, or do you keep them? Do you have like a collection?
I'm supposed to be selling this one eventually, because I need to gather more materials and stuff. So, materials don't come from nothing. So
Right.
I really need to. Yeah, I this will be posted for sale. Um, but also I know that sometimes it's not, you know big art sometimes cannot be like very cheap.
Mhm.
So that's why I have usually have my prints up on my website, because it's like, it's the most affordable way I can offer a copy of this piece.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know, like, um allowing people to that want to support me to be able to do it in a very, like, I don't know, like, it's affordable and it's very collectible because it's like a smaller version, right?
Yeah. Is it uh, is it tough to let like a bigger original like this? Is it hard to say goodbye to it after you've spent so many hours creating it? And I'm sure some of these you probably feel really attached to and really love.
Yeah.
Is it difficult then to? I mean, obviously, hopefully, it's going away to a good home, but is it hard to let those originals go sometimes?
Yes, it is. I was asked the same question this week actually,
Hmm.
because I managed to sell one piece through a website,
Mhm.
and this guy from I think he's from my hometown. He asked me the same, and I was like, yeah, but I think at the start, when I was starting, I was more like protective, because I feel like very protective of my stuff,
Mhm.
as you mentioned, like, oh, is it going to a good home? They are going to appreciate it. But then I um I start thinking like, okay, well, this is like, if this sales could be like a class I could pay, and like maybe more material. So in the
Mhm.
end, I think I need to be separating, or I like to be separating from the things the things that I do. And this is something my husband and I talk a lot, that I am not this. I am the person who makes this, and I
Mhm.
put my heart into it. I put everything into it. But in the end, if I want to put this out and try to live from this, like to have a career out of this, and to make it like, to let it help me keep doing this, that's the point. I need to be aware of having to make that sacrifice,
Mhm.
because in the end, if I don't sell, if I don't earn money out of what I do, um it's, sorry if this sounds so dry, but this is me like seeing it like a business person, and that I want to do this, and to do
Mhm.
this I really need it to to have a profit for me. So I can make now the disconnection from what I love about it, and remember that in the end, I think this will enable me to be able to do it in the future, to do the next painting and to bring something else to the world,
Mhm.
that I can put it, that I can, I don't know, put this pieces out, and maybe, I don't know, maybe someone else would buy it and I would be able to do it again and again and again. But also, like, I don't know, like if someone gets it and maybe shows it in a gallery or something. Can you imagine like this, bringing emotions to other people that I wouldn't be able to reach if it wasn't for that? So it was like, it's a lot of thinking, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's I feel so bad saying that, but honestly, like,
No,
I
I
really
mean,
like to do this, so I really need to get them out.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all artists should be paid for what they do, and you are obviously very, very, very good at this. This is amazing to watch,
Thank you.
and it's a very, very beautiful, beautiful tiger.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
also, like, if other artists, because I've met other artists that do this, because of course we all do it because we love it.
Mhm.
But no one has to feel like you need to do this for the money. Like, no, it's like pressure. If you don't have the support, if you don't have the means to do it, just don't stress yourself. Do it because you love it. And if you don't want to sell them, don't sell them. Just keep
Mhm.
them and enjoy them and let them go when you want it. So for me, it's kind of like my path on this, and my all
Mhm.
my ideas and what I've learned and what I've seen that it could help me, but it applies differently to everyone. So don't let me tell you like, oh, you have to sell your stuff if you want to do this in the future. Like, no, just do your thing and enjoy it.
Sure. Absolutely. So how has and I guess this is a question that all of our artists tonight could answer, but how has it been creating art this year specifically? Because I mean, I've gotten to ask this of a lot of authors and writers that we get to interview, but I don't know if I've asked any illustrators. So how has it been creating art in 2020 when we're at home more? Do you find that you are making more art than you were in previous years, or is it pretty comparable? Is it hard to focus or not? How has it been for really for all of you?
Oh my God, I want to say that it was almost impossible to do it at the start. Like,
Oh no.
oh my God. I'm glad that this is going to be recorded on YouTube for the rest of my life. But yes, it's been so hard. And that has been me like I'm honestly really privileged because my husband is like he has a good job, he has a very stable job.
Mhm.
So it's been hard because even though I have the chance of not going out to work and to do things here, well, I have my family in Mexico. Uh, we live here like it's been kind of like a crazy time. So it's been a very confusing time. So when trying to put something on paper, you would say like, oh yeah, you're an artist. You can just put your feelings on, on a drawing and that's it. You just draw a sad face and that's it. And then, no, that's not the point. It's like like I don't know. It's it's controlling all the feelings and emotions that are really really scary to feel. It's being weird, it's thinking about doing the right thing, not going out and trying to contribute as you can by staying at home and being responsible for all the people that really has to go outside. So all those things really hit me at the start, like hoping that people could do
Mhm.
their thing. And then what saved me at some point was that a workshop, like a presential workshop that I was going to attend in Pennsylvania, I think, no, in Massachusetts, that of course it got canceled, so it got transferred to the online version of the class.
Hmm.
So I have to do art for that class, and actually this painting has been developed in that class.
Oh
So
wow.
I for me, yeah, it hasn't been easy to focus, but honestly, it's if I don't kind of like this focused me, like learning is focusing me to bring out the best of what I can do,
Mhm.
and to take this time that feels like a weird pause in the normal world at some point. Of course, it's not a pause, it's awful, but it's like, okay, I want to go out of this like being the same person I was? No, I want to do something. I want to spend this time not thinking on of the worst. I want to do art, and it's a good time just to stay here, just to focus, and that's it. That's what has been helping me. And also, like, weirdly, it's the year that I've received some good opportunities to show my work online. So it was like, yes, 2020. How do you define 2020? It's
Right.
been crazy. It's like living in the upside down.
So yeah, that is absolutely a good way to describe it. Do you find that when you were talking about how artists when you're sad you can't exactly, like you said, draw a sad face and then um, be then and done. Do you find that I guess it's like in a year like this, or really any time when you were overwhelmed with emotion, whether it be good or bad, do you find that it is easier to make art when you're in that kind of state of mind, or is it harder?
It
Like
is
it's
way
harder.
harder.
Okay.
Harder. Yes. Yes, because there's this myth that I would love people to forget about it, that like that artists like create in their most desperate times, that is
Mm,
something so damaging to everyone, like who lives under those expectations. I've heard like a lot of stuff like, oh, you'll be a better artist if you did drugs, and I'm like, oh, yeah, like no, like no way, man. Like yeah, and so this weird, yeah, expectations, like very,
mhm,
I don't know who really invented that thing. It's like no, you have to take care of yourself. You have to invest on you, on your mental well-being, your physical and mental well-being, and then you can do your work. It's like trying to ask an engineer like, oh, can you do your job while you have a cold? Of course not. It's like,
mhm,
or a doctor, can you do your work while you're feeling bad, while you're like, are you up in your highest point, like to help other people when you're feeling so down? You have to.
mhm,
But why don't you just take care when you have time, take care of yourself, like stop for a little minute, um like think about what you need, and then think about all those weird things that go around on the internet that said like, oh, you should suffer to be a good art. No, you don't have to suffer. Just pick that, like this little paper, just do this and throw it, burn it, whatever. It's dumb, it's damaging, it's like it puts, like it causes burnout, and burnout, we know as
mhm,
creatives, is so bad for us and for anyone. So just, I don't know, it's, for me it's like, if I'm not feeling well, I had a few issues at the start of the year, and I wasn't feeling well, I wasn't being able to create. So and thankfully all my closest circle were like telling me, hey, you need to rest, you need to give your body time to heal from what is like, to regain the balance, and then you can just put yourself again in front of your work and doing, like, trying to do it like what, do what you can. So you cannot be
mhm,
expecting an artist to work like 20 hours a day and just being all smiles at the end of the day, right? Like, we need to rest, we need to eat, we need to take care of ourselves. It's like my doctor told me, like, yes, you have to, like, resting is investing in yourself and is investing in your work. So if you rest, you will be able to concentrate better, to think, like more ideas, to have more ideas, to have a lighter mind, and um, thanks to that, you can actually make better work, to understand what you can understand what you're doing if you're like investing that time in yourself. So yeah, no, like, you can see that I hate when people say that. I hate it because I've been
right.
suffering so much because of that. And I'm like, no, 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 you're not going to tell me
Oh,
anymore that.
I can tell Susan definitely agrees. She says you are taking us to church with this gospel.
Yeah.
Uh, which, yes, of course, Diana, preach, please.
Yes. It's just like I have heard it so many times, and from people who doesn't even do art. So it's like, right now I can say like, are you even know, like, do you even know what you're talking about? Like, yeah, you go and run a marathon after a day of work, man. It's
Mhm.
like, no, it's crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, and like Susan said, it's great to hear this positivity and hear you talking about this myth that all artists or all creative types need to struggle. Which, I mean, granted, of course, there is art that probably does derive from pain,
Yeah.
which you can't deny. But like you're saying, you don't need to go sleep in a gutter purposefully for 2 weeks in order to create
Yes.
fantastic art.
Yeah, no, and it's just to add more to that, to the people who actually find that channeling their paint through their art, it's
Mhm.
something that helps them. It's okay. It's amazing because you can actually have this outlet, and it's kind of like it honestly, yeah, it's there are paintings that I've been crying when I do like when I make them, that come from a very bad place in my heart, in my mind. But doing it in this way is one way to not go to the dark side, I guess, like to bring a little bit of reason to that dark side, I guess. But also like never forget that if those feelings are too overwhelming, try to ask for help. Art
Mhm.
is a very good help and everything, and it works, it helps a lot. But if you need help, go for help, because it's I don't know, it's easier for me to say it, but if you can, just don't let it live in your art. Go and
Mhm.
take it out if you can with someone you love, with someone who listens to you, or someone like a professional would be better. But just try to keep the that disconnection between like the destruction, let the destruction happen in the art, and try to do something good for yourself, like complement everything. Don't let it drown you, because it's bad.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. I I'm remembering now that last time when we had you, Dianita, I think I said that you should be the new Bob Ross, because you promote such positivity and yes, we're gonna need you to record some tapes of you talking about self-worth and taking care of yourself and getting paid what you're owed. These are all
Oh God.
top-notch suggestions. Yes, thank you so much. I think we are coming to the end of your time, but thank you so much, Dianita, for sharing what you're working on and kind of chatting with us about your process.
Oh no, thank you. And honestly, I'm not good at speaking things. Just like letting the good things out, hopefully. But honestly, just don't get me recording stuff. I'm so bad.
I agree with
I'm learning.
I agree with Susan. We love you and we love your thoughts. And honestly, like you definitely say what most of us are thinking, but we can't even put it into words. So good job.
Thank
I
Yeah.
you.
want the
And
podcast, the
Yeah,
Dianita
Yes.
podcast.
yeah.
oh
Yes.
no, don't give my husband ideas. He was like, I told you. I've been telling you for years. I'm like, no.
Aw.
But
Yes,
thank you so
please.
much. You're so
Yeah.
welcoming and really positive influence in me also. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dianita. And we have a comment from April who says, "Great art and artists." Thank you all. Thank you, April.
Thank you.
We have one more artist tonight who is Grace. Grace, are you ready to share? Maybe.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey.
Okay, there we are. Hello.
Hey, Grace, how are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing pretty good. Yeah. Cannot complain.
Good to hear. I have been requested to draw a McConaughey.
Yes. It does seem to be the theme of the night.
It is the theme of the night, indeed. Okay, everything on your screen.
I'm
Start
trying to
recording.
And as you-
unionize.
The McConaughey Union.
For his
But as you've
gubernatorial
seen,
run.
he yeah, these are going to be his promo.
Next time we could do a
promo
Sacha
ads.
one. What do you think, Susan?
Yes, Ali G.
Ah,
Oh, Dianita, you did not miss the McConaughey challenge because we decided that the tiger's name was Matthew McConaughey.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
That,
he's majestic.
You killed it.
Yes,
You killed the
yes.
challenge.
thank you.
And be sure when you sell that painting, whoever buys it, be sure to tell them that hey, this tiger has a name.
Yeah, he's well known in his circle. He goes by the name of Matthew McConaughey.
Maybe McConaughey will see this and want to buy it.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, please. Haven't watched much of his movies, and the one I watch, I really don't like to say it out loud. But yeah. Yeah.
The one you watched you don't like to say out loud?
Is that Magic Mike?
Could
Was it
be.
Magic Mike?
Oh dear.
It's okay. I
Oh
think
my.
that movie's everybody's guilty pleasure.
I have never seen it.
Oh my god.
Good.
Oh, we're gonna
it's
have to
okay.
watch Magic Mike's
I've literally never seen it.
Magic Mike's Street.
Oh my god. Are we just gonna like do like a double feature with the bingo night? Then?
Magic Mike Bingo Club.
Oh my God, no.
Stay tuned for the Magic Mike after party. Until then, we have Grace. Grace, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you like to create?
My name is Grace. I like to draw, and I tend to do digital illustration, though I've also done traditional like training. So what am I talking about? What's going on? What? Please can you ask me a more pointed question, a more specific question? I'm so sorry.
No, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, so that was kind of my question, is kind of like, what mediums do you like to work with? What
Oh God.
genres may not be the word, but I know Dianita likes to work with fantasy. Susan and Oscar said they really like horror. Do you have a preferred genre?
I do love a good horror. It's one of my favorite things ever. I actually, my sister and her roommate came over the other day, and she wanted to just draw up in my room, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I left her, I was like, oh, here's my TV remote. It has YouTube. Have at it, Haas. And I came back to check on her, and she was like, why are your YouTube recommendations so screwed up? Like, why is there just like a bunch of like true crime podcast, like horror, ask a mortician, like what happens when you die kind of stuff? And I'm like, just kind of let it go, man. I don't know.
I do have to comment that you are apparently infringing on Susan's brand, because Susan said that the sketching in red is entirely.
You owe me 2 cents, Grace. In order.
Okay.
It's okay. You're using a maroon.
I'll PayPal you later.
Thank you.
So what era McConaughey are you creating for us tonight? Is this the?
I don't really know. There's I Googled Matthew McConaughey, and there's this picture of him kind of looking like the guy from whose line is it anyway? Ryan. He just kind of
Ryan Stiles.
he's just kind of smugging. He's just kind of mugging. I don't really know.
Cool. I like it. I like it. Are you gonna finish him off here in the formal wear that Oscar showed us, or?
No, Susan wanted me to do just like a warm-up sketch of him. But truthfully, I've been doing warm-up sketches while this has been going on. So this is more like I have a thing to add to Susan's folder, and then I will go to the thing I actually prepared to pick.
Thank you, Grace. I admire your service.
It's okay.
It's appreciated.
But yeah, I just got an iPad, so that's why I'm in Procreate right now. Oh God, don't draw laugh lines. Don't ever draw laugh lines. Who draws laugh lines? No.
I do, but how are you liking Procreate so far, though?
So good. I have not imported any of my brushes yet, but I enjoy just like, I felt for like, you were asking earlier, like, oh, like, what's it like been creating art in 2020? I'm like, I haven't drawn properly since last winter. So my muse is finally back. I have an iPad. Yay. Because I would find that like I would really want to draw like late at night, but my computer is downstairs, and I was like, oh, I should draw in my sketchbook. And I'm like, no, I want to draw and like lay down and also not have the pressure of like, you know, a pencil. Because that's the one thing where it's like, I like working in pencil. I really like it a lot, but which is why I kind of use these pencil-ish brushes. But it's one of those things where if you if you screw up real bad on paper, like that thing's there forever. Like it's just this like weird little mark on your sketchbook that you just have to work around and deal with it. Like you can never really truly undo a mistake. And I am a control freak when it comes to art. Like I would much rather be able to go boop, 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 than like struggle against a moleskin.
So you said it's been challenging. You've just got your muse back. I think you said since last winter.
Yeah.
How? I mean, as an artist, you were an artist. How has that? I imagine the answer is it's rough. But how has that been? And how does it feel now coming over that hump?
It was garbage. It is now not garbage. So
Simply put.
It's one of those things where I would get, messages from my artist friends who are, even through the pandemic still producing merch. And they're like, oh, do you want to like hop in on this charm order? Like, do you want to, you've definitely got new designs, right? And I'd be like, no.
Oh my God.
I super don't.
Oh yeah. It's funny because I'm like kind of both the same but also polar opposite. I've been drawing nonstop. I have not been able to like produce like a single piece of new merch up until like last month. And especially with like the pandemic happening and like conventions not being a thing right now, I've kind of not had the motivation to like make new merchandise. So I'm just kind of trying to clear my current stock of everything I have in my online store. And then after that, maybe I'll put up new things and come up with stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, right. Right now, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to do stuff, but also no. As it's like, at least for me, it's kind of that point of like, what's the point? None of the cons are on. Like, I get like literally. Like, because shelling your wares, so to speak, online when you don't necessarily have like a super giant online presence is a little difficult because like I don't really use social media that much, which is bad. Like, especially not as like a professional illustrator type person. So when I come out with like a new design, it's just kind of like it sits in my room for a very long time. So going to cons was like the one way I know for sure that I would get rid of the things that now like are littering all over my room. But with cons not happening, it
Yeah.
is a little difficult to like justify, buying another 50 order count of a charm that I'm not sure is going to sell.
Yeah.
Though what I've also seen is a lot of artists actually kind of flourishing in this situation. Like I know
Really?
my sister's roommate's friend is like a decent sized artist in the Kingdom Hearts
Oh man.
Oh,
and
cool.
she's like a medium-sized famous artist over there, and she made a shaker charm. It was her first ever charm, and she sold out in like a few hours, and she made like a few $1,000s really quickly. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like, she's never been to a con. It was her first ever design. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
oh, that's really cool. Also,
Oh God.
When you say charm, what do you mean by charm? We're not talking like a sticker or anything like that, are we?
No, it's
No,
more
we are
something
talking-
like. Oh,
You
you
go
can
ahead.
explain if you want. I just had like one on hand.
Oh yeah, no, I was like, I don't know if I have a picture of one on this iPad. So
So a shaker charm is basically so charms are keychains.
Okay.
We just call them charms.
Oh, right.
But
Yes.
shaker charms are this like new trend of keychains where basically like they've got little stuff in them and you shake them and they kind of move around. So this is like the one that me and Sammy made,
like a snow
wow.
globe.
and we kind of sold out of it actually. This is
That's
like the
adorable.
very last one, and we kept it because it's our display one.
Very cool.
Yeah, shaker
Look, I
charms
like-
are the new hot item because it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's because it's still got that je ne sais quoi of, oh, that's an unusual thing. And also it's like you got a bunch of little pieces of art with glitter, and it's like this really cool thing
And
that
it's just
makes
fun to like
noise.
shake it.
It's just fun to sit there and shake it. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. They're standing up right now.
So how do we make a shaker charm that includes all of your Matthew McConaughey's
Yes.
inside
Oh
of
God.
it?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I would buy all of
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or consider all the different Sashas.
I would need to draw a Sasha then.
Do like a Sacha shaker charm.
Sasha Shaker.
This is
Brittany
actually starting to look
asked-
like Matthew McConaughey. What the fuck? Oh, sorry.
Okay, so Brittany
keep
asked if
swearing!
we.
Ah!
Oh, you're good. So Brittany's asking if we sell enamel pins. I personally don't. They're kind of like both like kind of complex but kind of expensive. At least
They're a
for,
huge
like,
investment,
my budget.
yeah.
So I'm personally like a little bit hesitant to dip into the enamel pin market.
I made a 3-inch enamel pin of Jackie Chan.
Oh, I
You did.
remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh my
That was
God.
Anytime I was shilling at your table, I'd be like, oh, we have the Hitalia over here, we have the Cardcaptor Sakura over here, and also there's this giant Jackie Chan enamel pin. Do you want that? They're like, why do you have a Jackie Chan? I don't know.
Susan, please tell me you have some left over because I still want to buy him.
I have at least one because I put it on a display board somewhere. So
Okay.
there is at least one Jackie.
Okay.
One
These are
Jackie.
Pictures
One
of this
Jackie.
Jackie.
I need a Jack. Everyone wants this Jackie.
Oh, I made a sticker too with it. My brand is so powerful.
Honestly,
It's
it is.
unstoppable. I'm gonna do Rush Hour fan art, I think.
Ooh.
Oh my
That
God.
would be so great. Yeah. Brittany, you connect enamel pins. Very cool. Very, very cool. And this is
Yeah,
awesome.
they're great for like Eda bags and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, actually, I'll go to the thing that I was intending to do. Susan, I will finish this later.
Thank you.
Will
Gotta hold it. Gotta
Finish.
hold to that.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
I was like, oh shit, stars. How do you
Good
say
save.
you're welcome? Later. That's what I was gonna do. You saw briefly some comic pages or an art book that I was in.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Ooh. Yeah. I was recently in because there's also part of the thing with like I didn't have a muse for a year. Like I was supposed to be in this General Hux Star Wars fanzine, and I took 10,000 years to finish it. And then I finally finished it, and now I'm just like, oh, I'm so satisfied with my final product. But like, it's the book's coming together, and I'm just like so excited to see everyone's stuff. So yeah, I
Cool.
did these sketches. Oh Jesus, of a original character like a little while ago, and I've been wanting to get her inked so that I can commission a friend of mine to draw her.
You don't even have to commission me. I'll just draw her for free.
Oh.
I love other people's original characters, so I'm like, give them to me. Thank you.
Oh yeah. No, I'm on the sketch layer.
So who is this character we're looking at? Obviously, she's adorable. She has a little bunny. Yeah, who are they?
This is Noelle, and they are going to be one of the main characters of a comic that I'm going to write. I swear, I promise. My sister yells at me every time I haven't actually written anything, but she's a college student who her boyfriend is really into like urban exploring, and when they go urban exploring in a farmhouse, they find a headless ghost.
Ooh.
Who like basically chooses Noelle to help solve the mystery of her murder.
That
Yeah,
sounds very cool.
Yeah, so it's a bunch of like ghost stuff, because I love ghost stuff.
Is this a?
Dad, go away.
I'm jealous of your Tex-Mex tonight.
The salsa Tex-Mex is so good. If you're ever in Plano, it's really, really good.
Is this a story that you've created, or is this somebody else's story that you are just doing the art for?
This is a story I've created.
Okay.
So something I don't remember what it was that like made me want to do it, but like I think I remember. I really love to collect like old books.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this book of like weird fiction from the 1920s, and I was reading a bunch of the stories, and they were just so inspiring, because it's one of those things where it's like I love reading like super old weird literature, and I was like, I want to do that. And I think it was just a combination of reading those old stories and really kind of loving ghost stories in general that made me want to tell this particular story.
Very cool. Does this bunny, this adorable bunny, does it have a name yet, or is it just the bunny?
It does not. I am taking submissions. I'm kidding, but it was more just because what I really love in like main characters is like, you know, the unwilling hero. I love people who are like thrust into situations that are like, get me out of here. And hello. Oh, you're gonna go get some salsa Tex-Mex? Yes, I do want some salsa Tex-Mex. Can I have
some too.
Yeah, can you get it for everybody?
Can we get it for everybody? Can I have a beef quesadilla or a steak quesadilla?
Beef or steak?
Steak, yeah. Thank you.
Susan,
I love you.
Is this the Jackie pen that you shared?
Yeah, that was my Jackie pin.
Oh, this is so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely check out her Jackie pin while I try to figure out Mexican food.
That is very cool. With the little pandas. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so I made a sticker and I put Rush Hour, a DVD cover Rush Hour in the sticker. I'm the same person I was apparently 3 years ago when I made this.
Still haven't gotten around to Rush Hour 3. Is that where they ended it? Have they made it? I've lost track.
I
saw the
believe
first two.
so. I believe so. I mean, the first one's a classic. That's really.
Of course. Yes. Please tell me do you still sell those stickers?
I can. Message me on Etsy. I'll figure that out.
Very, very cool. Okay, Grace, Oscar says you've got to name the bunny Sasha.
Sasha?
Please
All
name
right.
him Sasha. Yes.
I will name the bunny Sasha.
Yes.
It has been
I
decided
love
here.
this stream so much.
So Tex-Mex, Matthew McConaughey, Sacha Baron Cohen,
The only
Dianita's
Yeah.
upcoming
name-
podcast.
Oh my god.
It's all fantastic. So Grace, this
Yes.
story you're gonna do,
Yes.
are you imagining this as a web comic, or is it something you want to like physically publish? What's the goal here? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking webcomic because the physically publishing is I remember like way back when I was 13, I was very much inspired by Jonan Vasquez, who's the creator of Invader Zim, and kind of looking at his career. I was trying to figure out like, oh, how does someone like get a comic published? And it was just a rabbit hole of like, like you have to know someone to know someone to know someone to maybe get your stuff printed, and it's just like no. So I think it might start as a webcomic at least, and then I might print it if people actually want it to be printed. Yeah, I've always been really inspired by Ava's Demon, just like that whole format. So I think I'm going to try and incorporate a little bit of how that story is told, because my original like training from university is in animation, and while I was there I really fell in love with the art of like storyboarding.
Mhm.
And I wanted to basically tell a webcomic like in the style of a storyboard. And seeing kind of Ava's Demon do that was like, that is a thing. That is viable. Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, I hadn't heard of Ava's Demon, but I'm just checking it out now, and it's very, very cool.
It's very, very gorgeous. I love like how painterly it is. It's like, oh man, I wish I could know colors. I'm still inexpert with colors.
Well, I guess when in doubt, just use the country flag from because apparently those
Kazakhstan.
make yes, because I don't know if you were here for it, but I had asked.
I was,
Susan.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. When in doubt, just find some country flags and use those colors because they're apparently they very much pop, and they're gonna be amazing to see for people like me who don't understand it at all and can just look in awe.
You're not wrong. I mean, they're already coordinated, so.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of red, white, and blue.
A lot of red, and
A
blue.
lot of red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, Grace, a weird question. Which brush is this?
Oh, dry ink.
Okay, because I was like, oh my God, how do you make like what Procreate brush is this? Like I have like so many downloaded brushes, and like I've wanted one that has this exact same kind of look to it.
Oh
I've
yeah.
not
Then
used
this
dry
came
ink yet,
standard in the box, so which was
Yeah.
surprising.
How big is the iPad you're drawing on?
It is 12 and a half.
Okay.
Oh, mine's like a 10.5. It's a baby.
Oh, I think I have the same size as Oscar.
Hmm.
Now I'm gonna
Yes.
draw this bunny's face.
Sasha's face.
Sasha's face.
Is I think Oscar might have already said this, but is Procreate, is it a free program? Is it subscription based?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Oscar, do
it's
you want to chime in or
yes,
something?
yes. Sorry. I was trying to eat dinner.
Oh,
It's
you
okay,
can-
sorry.
It's a one-time payment.
Awesome.
Oscar.
But again, it's a one-time payment for Procreate. After that, like
No.
all other updates, it's all just completely free.
Is it like
Awesome.
20, 30?
I think it's like 15.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
15.
It's $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Great. It's great.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I would have hesitated more if it was like 20 or 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely bought software that did less than Procreate for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that feel.
Wow.
So Grace, in case you didn't know, Procreate, like the newer versions, now they can have you can add Photoshop brushes and it'll load those up also.
Yeah. No, I've been
Um,
wanting to do that. I haven't put them in yet though.
Yeah. I don't know how they'll do, but right now I've mostly just kind of like downloaded like some artists like free packs that they have, and like maybe one or two that I was like, okay, this seems like something that's kind of more aligned with how I tend to like do my inks or colors, and I decided to like buy like one or two like bundle packs. But for the most part I just kind of like go with what's in the pack already.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I know there's artists who like they'll futz with their brushes like a lot and they'll just like mess with all the settings, and I'm like, I am not about that life. Not at all. I don't want to mess it up to the point where it like, because my fear is like it breaks. Like I just immediately just like shatter the program somehow.
I should have asked this already, but the bunny, Sasha, in the story, is this a like inanimate stuffed animal or is this a live bunny?
It's an inanimate stuffed animal.
Okay.
It's more like I think it was my dad came in asking what kind of Mexican food I wanted. It was Noelle is very much like a coward. Like that's and I really love like cowardly characters that like learn to be brave in like a realistic way. So like kind of having her have stuffed animals was kind of a way of going like visually showing maybe this person's scared of change, says the
Awesome.
person with stuffed animals all over their room.
Oh, same.
Well,
Absolutely.
we have all here, and by all I mean myself and Brittany, admitted to wanting multiple Matthew McConaughey body pillows. So stuffed animals are much more highbrow. No, no worries there.
Yeah, I was meant to show that she's like, it's like a security blanket kind of thing. Like, I'm spooked. I am spooked by the happenings that are happening.
Yeah.
Have you designed her friend that you said?
Oh yeah, her boyfriend Edison. I have not. But I have like a whole mood board like on Pinterest because I think that's
Awesome. This is awesome, Grace. You're awesome. This is adorable to look at. We are now a little past the 8 o'clock hour, so I think we need to start bringing our program tonight to a close, unfortunately. But can you tell us, do you have a title for this upcoming story?
Oh, the title is Anchors.
Anchors. Why is it called Anchors? Or is that a spoiler?
No, it's more of like a metaphor, I guess. Like it's the moral of the story, where it's like, because it's I'm a very morbid person. I think it's like obvious, kind of, and it's kind of the theme that I'm working around for Anchors is that like it's like that quote from some movie that I can't remember. Susan, help me. It's like a ghost is an emotion, like a bent out emotion or something.
Crimson Peak?
Huh? Yeah,
Crimson
that's
Peak?
it.
Like ghosts are metaphors?
Yes. But it's like ghost stories are kind of metaphors for like people, like it's like what contains us here, like what keeps us ghosts are anchored to this place because of something. So it's like, what makes you not want to die? What makes you not want to move on to whatever the next stage is? So that's the overarching kind of theme that I'm working with. Which is big sad, maybe.
Very cool. Some conversation in the chat. We need a Borat body pillow and a blanket with Dianita's designs. The DPL starter.
Yes.
Oh, I have the quote for
Ooh.
you. It's ghosts are real, this much I know. There are things that tie them to a place, very much like they do to us. Some remain tethered to a patch of land, a time and date, the spilling of blood, a terrible crime.
Ah, that's it.
Crimson Peak.
Very
Yay!
good.
Thank you for finding that for me.
Yeah.
No problem.
I need to rewatch that. I haven't seen that in ages.
I've actually not even seen it before.
Bruh!
I'm going to. I promise I'm going to.
So
I'll
good.
send you my video essay.
Oh no, I know. I it's on your website. I was like super tempted when I first like looked through your
Oh.
portfolio. So I was like, I gotta watch it first, and then I'll read. Then I'll watch
Okay.
Susan's essay.
Along with Dianita's positive podcast, Susan, I think we're going to need you to come do like a horror analysis kind of program with us someday.
I will absolutely watch
That sounds
Texas
amazing.
Chainsaw Massacre and talk about it. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
We are all
That
about
sounds like a lot of
life.
fun.
Rudy, I better be included on that. I swear.
Yeah, Brittany is our resident horror aficionado as well. Yes, thank you so much, y'all. I guess we need to start bringing it to a close, but thank you so much to our artists, to Oscar, to Susan, to Dianita, to Grace. Y'all are amazing for sharing your time and your art with everyone tonight. Thank you to everyone in the chat. We have posted links galore for these amazing artists. Please check them out, support them, buy all their body pillows. That's a sentence I wasn't expecting to say today, but I'm saying buy all
You said
their
it,
body
you've committed.
pillows.
Yeah, and it's on
I've
YouTube
committed.
now, so it's there forever.
And it's all on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, y'all. Hopefully we can do another one of these again sometime in the future. I love this program. I could watch y'all make art all the time. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
For sure.
Of course.
All right.
All right. And I guess we'll start to end the stream. Oh yeah, of course. Thank you.
Awesome.
Y'all have a great night, great weekend.
You too.
Yeah, y'all do good.